it right. We can knock each care down. So let's be happy for spite. And let's be letting our hair down. How does it look for tonight? Spring is here in person. How does it look for tonight? Let you pour more to the cursing. It's spring in person that makes it right. We'll make life a feather. So let's be happy for spite. And let's be getting together. How does it look for tonight?
How does it look for tonight? Is that ukulele hound again? How many times must he be told to keep away from Betty?
I know, Peter. But remember, this is a hotel. You can't chase guests off the grounds. Besides, don't you think you've got Terry all wrong?
Wrong. He's a gold digger in pants, I tell you. I'll bet he hasn't got a dime to his name.
He's a guest at an expensive hotel. How do you figure that out?
Probably trying to make both weekends meet.
Aren't we all? And goodness knows our Betty is no catch. Financially speaking, of course.
Yes, but he doesn't know that. He thinks she has money. But I'll soon knock that idea out of his head.
But, Peter...
Now then, young lady, you've got a lot of explaining to do about last night.
Last night?
Yes. Who was in the living room with you after midnight?
Why, only Mary Jane.
Yeah? Well, you tell Mary Jane she left her pipe on the table. And try to deny that you were entertaining that jellyfish.
I don't know how entertaining I was, but I did my best. Now, Peter, did you look through the keyhole again last night?
I did.
And what did you find out?
The lights. But that's not all. I heard things.
What things?
Listen. Last night.
I'm sick and tired of having you around me. Hanging all around me, night and day. Most anywhere I go, you're bound to hound me. How you love to hound me. Go away.
But there's something that I want to say to you.
Well, say it. Hurry up and get it through.
All right. Put your head up higher. Put your two lips here. Make me feel on fire.
What's the big idea?
With a big moon blazing in this atmosphere, oh, I get too darn brazen.
What's the big idea?
Well, just start the party, Smarty, and then I'll produce. I don't mean maybe, baby, I'm on the loose. I'm just wild and woolly, like a Texas steer.
Now, isn't that just bullet?
Yes.
What's the big idea?
Oh.
What's your proposition? Buzz it in my ear. What's the big idea? What's your occupation?
I'm an engineer.
You just passed your station. What's the big idea? You're engineering something without a plan. The way you use your hands, you're a traveling man. Get a reputation. Don't you anchor here. Take a long vacation.
What's the big idea?
And there you are.
Now, Mother, there isn't any sense in letting Dad spy on me. But, Betty, if you had any sense, you'd play up to that Steve Alden boy.
Ah, now there's a man after my own heart.
After mine, Father, not yours.
Well, at least he's not after my pocketbook. He's one of the few real millionaires left. A gentleman and a sportsman.
Steve's all right, I guess. But if he thought anything about me, he'd come up here instead of writing me letters.
Well, why don't you answer them and write them up? Millionaires aren't to be found lying in the gutters nowadays.
You'd be surprised, Dad.
Sure.
But if it's Steve you want, Steve it shall be.
Now, there's the way I like to hear my little girl talk. I tell you, nowadays, a girl should marry a man who can support a family.
Okay, Dad. I'll tell Steve there's 4 in our family. Yours sincerely,
faithfully I remain. I'm intending to find a happy ending because I love you dearly. I'm sincerely
What about that frying pan, Mr. Olin?
She's beautiful.
Say, have you gone nuts? I asked about that frying pan.
Frying pan. Oh, excuse me, sir. You see, I must have been daydreaming. You know, spring and all that sort of thing.
Well, spring. Nature may be turning green, but we're still in the red.
Say, boss, if you really want me to drum up some business, why don't you let me take a complete line of goods up to some fashionable resort?
Not a bad idea, Steve.
I could pose as a millionaire on a vacation. Oh, but I'd make sure that our trademarks and price tags are prominently displayed.
All right. But pick out a good spot.
I've got my spot picked out. Oh, sincerely, the one who loves you dearly. To think about it nearly takes my breath away. Very truly, my passion is unruly. The thought of you is newly born each night and day. Oh, but my thoughts are fervent. How can I make them plain? Ever your humble servant, faithfully I remain. I'm intending to find a happy ending because I love you dearly. I'm sincerely
It was awfully sweet of you to come all the way up here. Dad's going to be pleased.
I didn't come all the way up here to please Dad. How about you?
Oh, Steve, you know how I feel about it. Come on, let's go and have some lunch.
Oh, boy, will you get my bags, please? This car must belong to Steve Alden. Oh, Mary Jane, I won't have much chance with your sister Betty as long as that guy Steve Alden's around.
Well, not unless you follow my instructions.
Yeah, I remember your first lesson. Serenade object of your affections neath her balcony. Ask her to throw you a rose.
And did she?
No, but your old man did, and there was a pot around it.
Oh, why don't you get some fire in you? Sweep her off her feet. Make her jealous by flirting with other women.
Yes? Do you think it would work?
Oh, it's never failed yet. Only you've got to do it as though you meant it. Just go up to some unsuspecting female and grab her like this. And say all night long I could think of nothing but the tender look in your beautiful eyes. Well, try it.
All right, Long. All I could think of was that tender look in your beautiful eyes.
No, nothing like it. Gee, Terry, haven't you any ambition?
I have often heard my father say, boy, you're a comet. You'll be a president someday.
He meant a plumber.
My hopes are remarkable. I'll rise in this town.
Rest that thing that's parkable. Sit down. Clown.
Bigger fools than I have made their way.
They don't come dumber, but I care, so why care? Don't frown. Rich man, poor man, rich man, poor man, big and that deep, who cares? You're gonna darken my doorstep.
Doctor, lawyer, Tammany chief who swears I'm gonna follow in your steps.
You may be a hero to some,
or like Mr. Zero, a bum. Pardon my language.
rich man, poor man, certainly you can see.
You'll be a lover to me. All night long, all I could think of was that tender look in your beautiful eyes.
Marvelous, Terry. Now you've got the idea.
Okay, teacher, when do we start?
Tonight, there'll be a moonlight party here on the lawn, and there'll be plenty of subjects for you to work on.
Let's go. bound. Turn up the baby's cradle, baby's awake now. Turn up the baby's cradle, baby's awake now.
Well, Emily, looks as though we have one daughter all set with a millionaire. Now, let's see what we can promote for Mary Jane.
Now, Peter, don't count your children before they're hitched.
Darling,
Yes, dear.
there's something I'd like to say.
Say it. I know it must be something romantic and beautiful.
Well, how about you and me starting to send our laundry out together?
Have you seen Father and Mother?
Yes, often. But I love you just the same.
And Steve, you won't let what I'm going to say make any difference?
Nothing could make any difference, honey.
Well, I think you ought to know. Father wanted me to marry a rich man. It was he who urged me to see you. But millionaire or no millionaire, I want you, Steve.
Then it wouldn't matter to you if I were, well, let's say, a traveling salesman?
You know it wouldn't.
Though I know that we meet every night, and we couldn't have changed since the last time, to my joy and delight, it's a new kind of love at first sight. Though it's you and it's I all the time, every meeting's a marvelous pastime. You're increasingly sweet, so whenever we happen to meet, I greet you with a song in my heart. I behold your adorable face, just a song at the start, but it soon is a hymn to your grace. When the music swells, I'm touching your hand. It tells that you're standing near. And at the sound of your voice, heaven opens its portals to me. Can I help but rejoice that a song such as ours came to be? But I always knew I would live life through with a song in my heart for you. You get in the car, honey, and I'll get the bags, and I'll be back in a jiffy.
All right. But don't let Dad see you, or it'll be goodbye elopement. With a song in my heart
Well, Emily, I may not have provided much money for our daughters, but at least you must admit I certainly know how to provide husbands.
Oh, Peter, you are wonderful.
Yes, sweetheart. And let's celebrate with a little drink. What'll it be?
Get me a lemonade.
2 lemonades.
Mrs. Braley,
Hello, Terry.
now there's something of great importance I have to say to
Oh,
you.
what is it?
All night long, I can think of nothing but that tender look.
Young man, you're a bigger scoundrel than I thought. First you tried to marry my poor, unsuspecting daughter. And now, under my very nose, you try to steal my wife. I'm going to tear you limb from limb.
You do that, Mr. Braley, and I'll tell my father. I'll tell my father how you treated me.
What's your father got to do with it?
My father is Barney Clayton, your biggest client. Here, I've been wanting to hand you this letter ever since I arrived here. But you wouldn't let me.
Terry, when I was your age, I didn't have much sense either.
Yes, sir, I can believe that.
Oh, what's all this, Pa? Anything wrong?
Anything wrong? All the time, a real millionaire has been trying to marry Betty, and I've been chasing him away.
No, Mr. Braley, you haven't been chasing me away. But you did make me realize it was Mary Jane I wanted, and not Betty.
Jane.
All night long, I could think of nothing but that tender look in your beautiful eyes.
Oh, marvelous, wonderful.
I would live life through with a song in my heart for you. Congratulate me, Pop. We're married.
What?
Yours sincerely, we've just been married.
Really? 2 millionaires.
Nearly takes my breath away.
Say, he has no money.
Who's trying to be funny?
That's on the level.
Honey, careful what you say. Now that you've wet my daughter, what are you going to do?
Just how will you support her?
We'll come and live with you.
Let's be married. Well, that's unnecessary. He'll live with us.
Oh, Terry!
Listen